Welcome back to the Breaker Bros, and this is our instant reaction to the Steelers 34, the Bengals 12 victory over the Bengals, and it's another dissatisfying game. I
Yeah,
guess
pretty disappointing. I guess.
I guess all the way through, mid third quarter. I mean, the defense looked like they were playing good. I mean, I was marking it down. I was like, they had 3 stops in the first half. It looked like, if anything, it was let down by the offense. I feel like when Flacco threw that pick 6, that's really what changed the landscape of the game. It really felt like the Minnesota game where
it had a lot of Minnesota game vibes for sure.
Well, yeah, because they had that pick 6 and the fumble for another touchdown. And it's just like, they keep shooting themselves in the foot, and it's just like you would rather see the other team beat you than you beat yourselves. And the only thing I could think would be the silver lining if trends continue, that hopefully they clean house, and if they do bring in a new head coach, that they actually pay some good money and get a really quality coach. Because I mean, for me right now, it all comes down to the head coach. Just no discipline, just too many mental mistakes every week, and that comes down to coaching. I feel like you get a really good coach in there and they fix that stuff. They make sure you do the small things right. Now with that said, it was like the defense looked better in the first half, but then once the wheels fell off, it just went completely bad. So
yeah, I mean, it was a really disappointing game. The thing that annoys me the most about this game, not every other game, but just this game, is that the Steelers lost Ramsey, and it looked like their nickel corner was out, and they couldn't throw the ball. I don't understand how that's possible.
They lost Rodgers too.
Yeah, I mean, but we know the defense has their issues, right? I mean, their defense of the Bengals, I'm trying to think of the right word for it.
They suck.
The players on that team suck.
But like, the offense is supposed to carry the team, right? And your best players are your receivers. And the Steelers secondary lost their starters, and they're not throwing it to the receivers. I don't understand. I don't understand how you don't adjust and go out of your way to get the ball in Jamar Chase's hands.
I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, and really, I feel like the last 3 seasons is like they don't really have a run game to rely on, and this is one of those games. And to be fair, the run game looked good for the most part, but I think that was a big part of why they weren't passing early was the weather. It was really windy, I think. So I think
I mean, I would say it's probably I would say that the Bengals defense playing good was probably evidence of how bad the weather was. So I think the offense gets a pass for struggling in the first half. But the Steelers adjusted, right? And the Bengals didn't adjust.
Well, their defense knows how to get turnovers and make the most of it. That's another big thing. It's like you have 14 points off of turnovers, and it's like almost impossible to win at that point. But then this is like the second or maybe third game where the timeout management is horrible. Again, it's like, why are we not getting the plays in on time? Or why are we not? It's just whenever it comes to situational football, Zach Taylor, I feel like it falls on him. Like to call a timeout, when they needed that touchdown on that drive, because I think at that point they were down by 11. It's like, and then after the timeout,
to be fair though, the timeouts didn't matter in the end.
Well, but still, it's like it kills the momentum. It kills like what you're trying to do at that point. It's like you have to be a little bit more prepared, and you can't falter like that.
Yeah, I mean, to echo your point, I mean, if you were to guess which team was coming off a bye week, you wouldn't have guessed the Bengals, right? They didn't look very well organized.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to coaching. I just feel like they need to clean house from top to bottom. I guess
do you keep Duke?
No, I think you get rid of Duke. You get rid of Zach.
I think we keep Duke around because I think he's like one of our followers. So we don't want to take a hit to the.
Well, if he leaves, he can join the show.
Huh?
I said if he leaves, he can just join the show. But
okay, yeah, there's a spot here for him always.
Yeah, I would like to get some insider information. But no, I just like top down. Like I really hope. Again, if things continue to go the way they are, I guess there's really no evidence at this point that it's going to change. Really, the silver lining is hopefully they bring in a quality coach, like someone that's worth paying, and just do it. There's a reason why the top-notch coaches get paid, because they do all the small things right. They know the right personnel.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there are owners who don't pay coaches, and there are owners that do. I mean, that's the difference.
I think they will, though. I think
okay.
they're at the point where,
I mean, like I was hoping that the Bengals would get Sean Payton, and that didn't happen. And then you see like Mike Vrabel's doing well, and those are two really good coaches. I mean, so who would be on your wish list?
The guy. I mean, if they go the college route, I like the one that you picked for the head coach of Notre Dame. Like, get a defensive guy in there. Get a defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, the
offense is going to be fine. They got premier players for the next 3 years, so just get someone to shore up the defensive end, and then also kind of. I always feel like defensive coaches, they always fix the running game one way or another, because it's like old school football, control the clock.
It's not old school football. It's football. Like, that is like one of Zach Taylor's foundational and fundamental failings, is that he just seems to be unaware that football is a timed game.
Well, it's different.
You need to control the clock. You need to have the ball last. You need to be able to eat the clock.
I think the league
can't just score.
Right. No, I think the league has evolved over the last, I guess, 10 years. And I think maybe Sean McVay has a lot to do with it. But it's different when you have like a Sean McVay, right? Like, but I guess they were hoping Zach Taylor could turn into him. And, I think he would be a good offensive coordinator if that was it. But I just haven't seen where.
I don't know. I don't know that I agree, because like the record is what it is. And, you need to be able to score. Yes, but that's not all that it is. Like, this year has shown that they've been in these games where they can score, but they don't control the game, like the loss against the Jets, the loss against the Bears, right? You score, but so what? You left a minute on the clock, right? I mean,
with an average defense, then you should be okay.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody with eyes should be surprised that the Bengals don't have an average defense at that point.
Right, and I guess
you know what you got.
Well, that kind of goes back to, I think we're in agreement. Well, do you want to bring in a defensive coach? Like, or what are you feeling?
I actually don't think it matters, really. I think you're right. Like, they need a good coach. They need like a coach that's good enough to win a Super Bowl. I don't think that it's. I don't think the Bengals are necessarily a team where you need to go from like like people like to switch from, you go from a defensive coach to an offensive coach, or you go from like a player's coach to like a strict coach. I think the Bengals just need like competence. So whether it be an offensive guy or a defensive guy, we just need someone who knows how to win.
For the Vikings, he's like a
Flores.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, when he was in Miami, they weren't very good. I don't know that he's a head coach type. He seems like he's more of a coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, I think, because I was kind of looking this up. I know there's a few other defensive coordinators that are kind of up and coming, and that might be the Bengals' route. To your point, they don't like to hire experienced head coaches. But
it would be amazing if they went out and hired like one of those Super Bowl winning pedigree type coaches, or guys that have like won in the playoffs.
If they continue like an offensive minded coach, and I know this is again a long shot, I still like Gruden. I think that would be a big boost. But I'm sure you would have to.
I think Gruden would be great.
Yeah, with Burrow,
he's along the lines of what I'm talking about. Someone who's won a Super Bowl, so they know how to be. Because I just think that our team is probably a little disorganized. I think
obviously
that, there's like they're just don't have that it all figured out, right? Like I don't know that Zach Taylor necessarily won't be a good head coach in the future, but I just think that they're kind of in over their heads right now, and like there's no real professional. Kind of like when Marvin Lewis was the coach, like I think like he kind of drug the Bengals organization into like the present times.
Yeah.
And they need someone like him where he's like just organized and professional and knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we had any one of those defenses that he had, I think they would be a playoff team this year because he knows how to pick quality people. Whether it's coaching or players for specific roles. It's wild to see because I'm watching Burks miss tackles and stuff, and he's a reliable linebacker that came from the Eagles. And Carter, I mean, he had a rough first half. It was just couldn't tackle anyone, getting beat by the tight ends. It's just, I mean, there's some like they have enough pieces on offense to make a turnaround in one season possible, but you have to have the right person at the top, and I don't think it's Taylor. I mean, if the Bengals front office want to really send a message, then I think you fire Zach Taylor right now. Like, what's the point of keeping him? They gotta show something. Like, they gotta show some type of accountability. I don't know if you would keep Golden if you bring in a new head coach, because I'm sure they're going to want to bring in their own staff.
Well, I feel like if they fired Taylor, then Golden would be the coach. He'd be the head coach. No,
I guess the interim, but I don't think you keep him though. Well, I guess it just depends on who they bring in next. But that's if they fire Zach Taylor. I just don't see. From my perspective,
I feel like we're getting ahead of our. Well, no, I guess we're not ahead of ourselves because you want to fire him now. But to me, the more, I guess, another pressing question that I'm curious to talk about is like, what do you think about Burrow coming back?
I mean,
is there a point to it?
The only problem I see with Burrow coming back is that they'll most likely go on some type of run at the end of the season, and that's just going to hurt their draft capital if they're not going to make the playoffs. But at the same time, like, I get why he would want to play. I mean, he's a professional player. And
yeah, I mean, I really like, part of me like really wants to draft capital, but then like only thing I'm concerned about with Burrow is them rushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's just like you be extra careful, make sure he's right, make sure he doesn't get hurt. I mean, if I were the coach, I would tell the offensive line, hey, if you get beat, like, hold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't, just tackle him. Don't, I mean, we'll take the penalty. Just keep 9 clean as best you can.
Yeah, I still feel same about the draft. Is like you take the best available left tackle first round.
Yeah. Well, to get an elite left tackle, you usually need to be like in the top 10, right? Those guys usually go 5 to 10.
Yeah, I think maybe if you're in the top 15, I guess it really just depends on how.
Depends on the year, but usually like the first left tackle comes off the board between 5 and 10, right?
I don't really keep up with the college. I mean, this is probably more your field, but it does seem like there's going to be a lot of offensive players going early, like skill players. I would assume Jeremiah Smith, is he going to be eligible for the next year's draft?
I don't know.
I feel like if he is, then he could potentially be a number 1 overall pick. I'm not sure if there's any quarterbacks that are playing really well this year that are going to go into the draft.
I don't know. Like, Georgia's quarterback played pretty good.
But even that, I mean, even if there's several teams willing to take quarterbacks in the top 10, and I feel like there's several running backs that are doing really well in college right now that may go early. And I don't. Yeah,
I don't think we're back to running backs going top 10. I mean, I still think that's not smart.
No, I mean, if you look at who the Raiders picked, I can't remember the running back.
Ashton Genty.
Yeah, he's not really having a great year.
Well, I don't know that he was ever. Well, I don't want to say something stupid, but like, I think he's an awesome player, especially in college. But I think there's a difference between carrying a team in college and trying to carry a team in the NFL, especially at running back.
Yeah, because if you look at
someone,
I wanted. I mean, if it fell the right way, like I was thinking, Cam Scadaboo in like the third or fourth round, if he was there, would make sense. And he brings the same type of value that you would see in Ginty. So I do agree with that. Like you can get the same type of, I guess, value for running back later in the draft.
Yeah, it's just weird, right? Because basically the Eagles got Saquon Barkley for free on free agency, right? So it's just like, I don't know why you would spend a first round pick on a running back when like elite running backs can be had in free agency and in trades, right? Teams are always willing to trade like a good running back, right? I mean, you got Derrick Henry with the Ravens. Christian McCaffrey went to the 49ers. It's just like those guys, you can get them. People don't trade like top tier left tackles. They don't trade. Usually they don't trade corners. I mean, Sauce was traded, but I mean, that was like what, 2 first round picks.
I will say some of the positives. It did seem like there was a little bit more of a pass rush this week. It seemed like it was affecting Rodgers a little bit. I mean, they were hitting him. They got, I guess, a sack.
They're hitting him after he threw the ball.
I don't know. That one penalty, I don't know. The penalties seemed kind of wishy-washy. It wasn't like, the Flacco penalty where he got fell on like that.
Yeah,
that should be a penalty. But
I don't know. Like I saw the penalty where
Murphy.
Was it Murphy
Osai?
Or was it Osai?
Murphy was the
he
one
kind of caught him in the head.
Okay, yeah, that was
his face mask a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it's intentional, and whatever the NFL, refs these days, right? But like, it just made me think of, remember when Ndamukong Suh picked up Andy Dalton by the face mask and just spiked him on the ground? They did throw a flag for that, and now like if you get like brushed, incidentally, they throw a 15-yard penalty.
Unless you're Burrow, for some reason, they don't like to call that against him.
Well,
for whatever reason, he gets hit in the head all the time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
I did want to talk about something.
Sure.
Early on in the game, where I think it was the second, or maybe it was the third drive of the Steelers, where it looked like the Bengals actually stopped them on 4th and 1, and this is when it was like 7-6,
mm-hmm.
And then the ref that was closest, had the right view, called it short, but the guy on the other side said it was a first down, and then they confirmed the call. Like that, I don't know that. I get it. At the end of the day, if you look at the score, well, I don't know. It changes the whole complexion of the game.
Hey, they would have got the ball. You're talking my language. I think that games are fixed. So like whatever, right?
Yeah, it was just really weird to me how they were so quick to change the call and then confirm it.
Right. No, I mean it's. I feel like,
because even on the replay, it still looked short. Like it wasn't even.
Sports are very much an entertainment product.
And what happened to the electronic first down thing? Isn't it like, don't they have the technology now? Like they didn't say anything about it. It's like,
dude, they've had technology to figure out things like 10 years ago. This is not.
This is the first year that they actually are using it, where they can, digitally.
I'm just saying, like literally in the Iraq War, or maybe during like Afghanistan, like they could give a guy a laser pointer and he could get like a missile to hit that dot. I mean, the technology exists to figure out where the ball is. You've got cameras everywhere. It's like not hard. They just choose not to do it because they're doofuses.
Well,
or they choose not to do it because they want to fix games.
Right. They want to control the momentum. Like it's because like they get the ball back. I think,
but it's like the NCAA tournament. Like they want to keep games close. So if a team starts pulling away, the refs start calling extra fouls. You know, it depends on what team you're on, whether or not you get calls, right? The Steelers are always favored because they have a much bigger fan base than the Bengals. I mean, it's not that wild of a conspiracy theory to think that these things are supposed to go certain ways, right?
Yeah, I thought it was wild. It kind of made me sick to my stomach at that point because it's like, man, why? Like, to me, it was obvious that it was short. Like, it was the announcers were saying it. Their ref analyst came in and said, yeah, it looked like it was short. It's just weird that they can continue to get away with this stuff. And
no, you get away with it because you favor the team with the most fans, right?
Yeah, no, it's just like it was something. It kind of reminded me of like the Bengals playing the Steelers early 2000s, maybe late 90s.
Yeah, that had like a very like
balls and
yeah,
it seemed like the favorite
Bengals Steelers feel.
The refs always seem to favor them, especially if it's at Pittsburgh. Yeah, it was just like even on the replay, like I can get it if it was really hard to see or whatever, but you can just judge by where the players are laying on each other and where his body parts are, and you can draw the line. And it was short. Like, I don't even see why it was inconclusive.
It's not hard. They've got like,
but they also have the chip. They're doing it this year. I've seen it.
But they have. You don't even need a chip. They have 12 like high definition cameras pointing at the ball.
Yeah,
the guy with the ball. It's not hard to figure out.
Yeah.
They just choose not to.
But I mean, outside of that, if you're just talking about the Bengals play, there's just too many mental mistakes week in and week out. And, I feel like they got to clean house. They got to show the players that they care.
Taylor got to go.
They got to show the fans that they care. I would think it would be inexcusable if Taylor gets another year. Like, he just, as a person, he seems really cool. He seems like a player coach, but there does seem to be a lack of accountability. And I think that's why these mistakes continue to happen. It starts from the top. If Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about Zach Taylor. I feel like he'll get another shot.
Well, to me, that's a problem because these mistakes are not going to go away. It's like the way you practice.
No, I meant like you were just saying, like, hey, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he'll be fine, even if he gets.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. I'm sure he'd probably go back to L.A.
I mean, it's part of the job, right? Like, you can't take a team that's expected to win a Super Bowl and go 3-7.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and again, if you're an offensive-minded coach, you can't only score 12 points.
The NFL trade deadline has passed, right?
Yeah, that was before the bye week, or I guess it was during the bye week, around that time.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I think they were considering trading Hendrickson, but I think the problem was, they only got a 4th-round pick, but I think the only reason why they got a 4th-round pick offer was because he's hurt, and I think it's pretty, known in the league that I guess he's got a hernia, so that hurts.
It's kind of dumb. He's just not tradable for a 4th-round pick.
Well, no, I mean, it makes sense for the Bengals to keep him because he's most likely going to get them a 3rd-round compensatory pick. So,
yeah, no, I would bet you
third.
I bet you however much money you want to bet that he will sign somewhere else and get enough of a offer that the Bengals will get a 3rd-round pick out of it.
It's almost destined that he's probably going to go to the Colts, right? Like, I think if they have the money. Oh, I mean, I think I don't know her name, but it's Jim Irsay's daughter. But she's the one that traded for Sauce Gardner. She made the comment.
Yeah. So they got a
Band-Aid fix, or
they got to hit free agency then because they're not going to have picks.
And I think they were one of the ones that wanted to trade for Hendrickson. It was the Colts, possibly the Eagles, but there was in the 49ers. So there were several teams interested, but I guess they knew the market was only going to give up a 4th, I guess, with an injured player. But I mean, it makes sense to give up some draft capital if he can come back sometime during the year and be effective for like a playoff run. So you'd be willing to give up something in value, but yeah, I mean the Bengals need like a Mike Vrabel turnaround where you get a quality coach that knows how to put the right pieces in the right spots, because they have enough talent to be a playoff team, especially with what they have on offense. But this is another perfect game where when you have to rely on the passing so much, and
the weather's bad.
Well, that's always going to be the case because Cincinnati is an outdoor team that's in the north. So
yeah, and all the teams we had to beat are in places that get bad weather too. So yeah.
So
it's very predictable.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, the weird part was like the running game was doing fine this game. They just
it's just lack of creativity, really. I mean, I just feel like with the chess pieces they have, they could have done so much more.
For sure.
Like if you can't throw the ball to Jamar Chase, then do a jet sweep, do a fake jet sweep, do tunnel screens, do something.
Yeah.
Do something to get the ball in his hand. Put him back there as a Wildcat quarterback. I don't care what you do, but if you've got Jamar Chase and the wind's blowing so hard that you can't throw him the ball, then you need to have him touch the ball.
Oh, that was another thing. That 2-point conversion, like early in the game, like what are you doing? Just get the point. Take the penalty off the kickoff. Like
it's just dumb.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the top. Head coach, like he's making these rash decisions, and I'm just.
But wait, I'm looking at the score again. 34 minus 12. Turns out it didn't matter.
Well, I think the game would have been a lot different had they were playing with a lead, and especially with Rodgers out. You give Mason Rudolph enough attempts to throw, he's going to throw an interception.
I don't think it mattered. I don't think it matters. They needed to score. They needed to score more than 12 points.
Yeah. The first half was pretty defensive sided on both sides.
I mean,
and then towards the end of
ugly. It was a bad weather, ugly game, and the Steelers figured out how to make their offense functional and score points.
Yeah, because at the end of the first half, when there was like a minute and a half left, they get 2 roughing the passer calls and defensive passer interference, which looked kind of suspect to me. I mean, it was such a bad throw that I don't know how you could call that defensive passer interference because the guy had no shot at getting the ball. But whatever. I don't know. Just another crappy week, and I mean, yeah, if they can go on a run and win the rest of the games, then they have a pretty good shot of making the playoffs. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be likely. So,
no, they'll win just enough, but not enough. You know what I'm saying? They'll win just enough to like not get whoever the first left tackle is picked. They will be the pick right after. That's how they'll do this year. So they'll probably get to like 6 or 7 wins.
Well, that's another thing. Like, they got to go get their guy. Because I feel like if Walter Nolan wasn't drafted right before the Bengals pick, I think he would have been their number 1 pick over Stewart.
Yeah. How good a year is he having this year?
Well, he's definitely making an impact. I think the only thing that slowed it down was he got hurt in training camp. So he missed like the first 6 weeks, I think, or maybe more than that. I think he came back in week 8 or something. But his first game, he was just like, he kind of reminds you of Geno Atkins. Like if we had a Geno Atkins type player, that would go such a long ways. But yeah, I guess my point is like, you got to move up. Like they're in a position where you got to move up, especially in the first round. Get your guy, whether it's a left tackle or whoever you think it is. In my opinion, I still think it's a left tackle. And then you rest defensive players. Like I think on offense they're pretty much set. I did see that.
I'll be happy as long as they don't pick a wide receiver in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think they're pretty much set on receivers. I don't think they really have to worry about that. I mean, maybe Burton gets cut mainly because he's not doing
he
it.
not already cut?
Well, it's because he's on the Bengals and they don't like to pay people. Well, if he gets cut, I don't think. Yeah, he's. I don't know. I don't understand why.
I figure you could, with the things he's involved with, I feel like you could cut him and recoup a lot of the salary.
Like, well, he's a third round pick, so I don't think he's got any more like guaranteed money. Like I think that's all been cleared by now, so it wouldn't surprise me if they move from him. And like I said, I think they got a clean house and really pay a good quality coach, get the right guy in there, make them reorganized or just organized and with a lot more discipline. You know, I did like some of the things I saw in the first half, but then once the wheels fall off, it falls off completely, and that's been consistent this year. So I don't know how you're in the front office and you're watching this and you can feel satisfied and thinking like, oh, okay, we can regroup this offseason with the same coaches. Because to me, obviously, Taylor's not picking the right people. So, and there must be something to Duke Tobin, because I mean, there seems to be there was some heat thrown his way during the bye. Like there was speculation he could have been fired, but they decided to keep him. So maybe they aren't picking the right people for what they're trying to do. And I feel like if they have a solid draft and pick up, the right role players and free agency, like they can turn it around, especially with the offensive weapons they have on the on offensive side. So it's not inconceivable to think they can turn things around quickly, especially when you have Joe Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, and even Chase Brown. I mean, but we still need that running back that can guarantee you like three yards, and maybe Piron could be that guy. He just got to stay healthy. I mean, he looked good when he got the ball. It seems like he's always falling forward and getting those 3 or 4 tough yards. It just sucks that he got hurt. But I don't think that necessarily would have made a difference this game. I don't know. A lot changed when they got that pick 6. Because had they at least got the field goal, I think it would have been 13-12 at that point. And I think that would have put a lot more pressure on Rudolph. Because like I said, if you make him pass enough, he's going to throw an interception. And, he probably should at least had one with the few amount of passes he had. Most of them, they don't like him throwing it long, for sure. A lot of his bigger passes were to the running back or to the tight end, and they were making plays after the catch. So I don't know. Another disappointing loss. Ready to get it out of my system. Can't wait for the New England game. Hopefully, I don't. That one's gonna be tough because going into it, it's they match up really well against the Bengals, and they're gonna be able to control the clock. And
well, you get to see what a well-coached team looks like up close and personal.
And Drake May, I mean, he looks like a quality quarterback. He's if you have to rely more on your running backs and kind of like what they had to do last year, then you kind of have a chance, but he can make plays. So if they can't get any type of pass rush, it could be an ugly game quick. And I'm sure it's going to be cold. I don't know what the weather's going to be like next week, but
don't know. We're going to have to be hardy folk, deal with the weather. All right. Well, I got to run. So
Yep. All right, I got
shut her down.
Let's shut her down.
Peace.